Constitutional lawyer Bruce Fein files a lawsuit on behalf of the most successful whistleblower in American history, who revealed a practice at the bank UBS to help Americans use Swiss accounts to avoid paying taxes. Fein is also raising questions about an apparent connection between those accounts and Hillary Clinton. One America's John Hines sat down with Bruce Fein.
Representing a client, and this client is the largest whistleblower award winner ever, $104 million, Brad Birkenfeld. He basically single-handedly revolutionized, offshore, secret, undeclared account banking in Switzerland that would have been used to evade U.S. taxes. And ironically, despite winning a $104 million whistleblower award, he's the only one who spent any time in prison, and thereby hangs a tale of corruption in my judgment.
And so what are you doing on behalf of Mr. Birkenfeld?
Well, we have filed a lawsuit against two what you might call one-percenters. Kevin Costner, he's a Hollywood star. Leonard Lauder, who's a billionaire, the offspring of Estee Lauder and her famous company who profits from cosmetics and fragrances and otherwise. They falsely represented to Mr. Birkenfeld and to his book publisher that they did not own offshore, secret, undeclared accounts at UBS Switzerland. Their names were removed, caused damage to Mr. Birkenfeld's reputation and brand. They were the ones who went to the publisher, among the 19,000 Americans who were exposed by Mr. Birkenfeld as having such accounts, and were able to then damage his reputation and his brand and book sales. That's why.
So the converse would also be true, that you have proof that they had actual bank accounts.
Well, that's what we allege in the papers. Now, I'm a lawyer, so I know you have to permit the other side to respond. But as we pointed out in the papers, they identify who were the private bankers at UBS Switzerland who ran the accounts, how much money was in them, what the evidence was, how UBS says they say we're the Mecca bank for billionaires, and how this was just, this was a commonplace amongst those who are very wealthy. We can call them the 1%, about how they can try to evade American tax obligations.
Could you kind of make the connection between Mrs. Clinton and what she did and the connection between Mr. Lauder and Mr. Costner?
No, I think they're all in the same universe of things, but we don't have evidence. Again, we don't know, which is why you need an investigation. In emails that were disclosed by WikiLeaks, Hillary Clinton, then Secretary of State, has said we have to find a political solution to this, which is, this is a legal problem when you're evading taxes.
Political solution to all these.
To all, yeah. And one of the reasons was because UBS Switzerland was confronting just huge potential criminal liability, civil liability, and the Attorney General at the time, Eric Holder, was the private lawyer for UBS before he became Attorney General. We do know that shortly after this deal was cut, the Clinton Foundation received $600,000 from UBS. Bill Clinton makes speeches for UBS, $1.5 million or more dollars. The Swiss government dumps $500,000 into the Clinton Foundation.
Now, Mr. Birkenfeld also has a request, correct? I believe he's seeking a pardon?
Yes, we're not trying to conceal anything. We think that it is a gross injustice that the person who displayed the greatest amount of courage, who brought back to the United States $20 billion, prevented future scams like this, and tax cheats, if you will, from the 1%. He's the only one who spent even a day in prison. Think of that incongruity. The largest whistleblower award in the history of the world is the only one who spends any time in jail for tax fraud perpetrated by UBS and the American 1%.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.